So, I'm going to do something a little different today, and I was going to talk about the state of gaming. So, something I really feel like talking about right now because, it's my expertise. It's something I do for all my videos. I make games. And, I have to say that right now, gaming is just kind of depressing. And if you couldn't tell with like all my videos, I just go back and forth between games because I'm just trying to find out what, maybe appeals to people. But, at this point, I really don't care. I just want to play what I enjoy. And I only enjoy like 2 to 3 games now. And, it all started because my love for gaming was, I got my first console was the Nintendo DS. It was something I was gifted to for my birthday. And I remember being glued to it the moment I had it. And there was just something magical about having a handheld console back then. It was like the equivalent of having like a phone but without brain rot. And as y'all know, if you're familiar with the DS, gaming only got better after the DS came out. And, I feel like the prime year for video games was 2016. Waking up, it was just rainbows and sunshine. And, starting the party, telling the boys to hop on from dusk until dawn. Like, me and my guys, we were pro gamers. And, nowadays it's just like I struggle to like even try like play 3 games. I only play like maybe 1 or 2 games religiously. And I don't even really care about those games either. And I only play with maybe one of my homeboys now. And he only plays on occasion. And listen, I understand as we get older, people have bills to pay. And, their time needs to be optimized for what they want to accomplish. And that's true. And that gives me all the more reason to stop playing. So, as a 23-year-old, it feels the worst to play games now than it ever has been before. And, it just feels now like a time waster and a money waster. So, the variety of games to play back then, it was truly insane. I think games like Roblox and Fortnite really ruined like variety in games because they made everything accessible within their apps only. Like, Fortnite, they went to all these custom games now. Roblox, you could literally play Pokemon in Roblox. It's ridiculous. Like what? Like it's just like it's giving kids a reason not to explore other games. And genuinely, back then, there was just so many things to play. Like there's something new to play every week. And it didn't cost a car like an arm and a leg to buy games back then as well. As long as I could remember when I first started, going to GameStop. Oh, when GameStop was a thing before you could buy digital. Now everything's digital, but back in the days it was a goddamn pleasure to go to GameStop. But back when I can remember it, like I remember the peak of gaming prices was $60, and for a long time that was okay. It was a standard. That was like the norm for like at least a decade and some change. And that was the peak. There was a lot of games that ranged from $20 to $40 depending on what you were playing. And that was the great thing back then. Like games knew where they stood and they didn't overcharge. Like they knew what they were providing and they knew how much it cost, and people would pay based off of that value. And I had a friend group where 2 of the guys, they would constantly be finding new games to play. And they would tell the rest of the group, like, oh, bro, you gotta cop this game. It's mad fun. And it could be like the shittiest game known to man. But it was so shitty. It would be like maybe $20, $10 if it was on sale. And back then, our group was not really limited by any genre or category. And that was the beauty of my old gaming group. Like, we would play games that would range from like shooters, MMORPGs. We play sports games, action games, puzzles, racing, you name it. I mean, our main primary that we like to play fighting games because we were very competitive. So what didn't include in our gaming pool was probably like co-op campaign story mode games. Even though I like to play more of those now, we didn't play those back then. We were very hyper competitive. But the point is that we always had something to play because we weren't stuck like on 3 to 5 games. And the perfect example would be like when we bought this piece of shit game, JoJo's Eyes of Heaven. And at the time, we were big JoJo fans because we were watching the anime. I was mesmerized by JoJo. It was just, I've never seen an anime like it before. And, they were like, oh, yo, this game is cheese. Let's run it. And it was the most unbalanced game I've ever played. It was so much fun. And you could literally stop time, like, to kill somebody. Like, I was just like, I'm getting off topic, but I just love shit like that, like just broken. And, that was the fun of it. The gaming used to be affordable. And because of that, we were able to play so many games, shitty or not. And, we were able to move on. And I'm grateful to being able to play so many games. And, despite that, I have like maybe over like 120 games in my library, and I'm probably not going to download any one of them. I'm still grateful for the experiences those games provided. And in terms of the guys I grew up with and played with, they contributed kind of to my downfall for the fun of gaming. And, as gaming evolved more and more over the years, people started to shift towards PC, understandably, because of the performance. And, I was cool with it. But it got to a point in my group where gaming, like on a console, was just unfathomable to them. They're just like, ew, like, oh, like the delay-based TV. Oh, you got to get a monitor. Ooh, you got to get like a decent performing PC, at least minimum 1500. And listen, like being a high school kid at that time, like most of us in the group, we didn't have that kind of money. Like gaming at the max level with like all the perfect specs was just something that wasn't like super important to us, so where we need to take 1500 out or like ask our parents for stuff or whatever. And I was perfectly fine with playing on console because that's what was so fun to us. We literally just wanted to play the game with our friends. And for the sake of anonymity, I'll call the other couple of guys that were trying to shift towards PC, they're the Remy boys. And the Remy boys, they wanted us to all migrate to PC, get the perfect monitor, get a decent setup, and like, oh yeah, we could play the best games at the best resolution for like, and no delay. And I'm just like, ugh. And all of our preferences and how we wanted to play, it just slowly separated us. And the guys I used to game with every day just became no more. And I hope this is just not a thing with all people who play PC, but the people who like are PC elitists, you guys are very snobby. Like, I'm not saying, I'm sorry that I said you guys, but for my guys that in the group, like that were trying to get their max settings, like they became so snobby with how gaming was, and it really pissed me off. I was just like, oh my god, shut up. I don't want to hear about your AMD chip or like I don't know. I'm not a PC head, but all the other specs and stuff they were talking about, they were just so snobby. Like, ooh, like the PlayStation 5, it only runs at 60 FPS. Like, are you comfortable with that? I'm just like, I don't care, bro. Like, can we just go back to playing the games that we used to play? Like, does it really matter? Like, skill was not a thing that was emphasized in our group at all. There were plenty of us that were trash. I wasn't the best at shooting games, but yet they still wanted to play with me. That's because it was fun to play with our friends. Like, shooting games was never my expertise, but I still played anyway. And, eventually I want to get a PC, but, for the sake of improving my content and my channel. But back then, the convenience of the console was just enough for me and the guys to still enjoy gaming. But that was slowly taken away from me when everybody stopped caring about what brought us together in the first place. Nobody cared about your setup, your skill level. We were all just connected, but from different circumstances. Wi-Fi, ping. Like, some guys had 200 ping, some guys had 20. As much as I love those guys, even the Remy boys, that was just the beginning of the downfall of why I loved gaming. But yeah, I don't want to sit here and completely rant and this gaming, because I genuinely do have hope, and I still love sitting down and just playing the game sometimes. It may not be as fun as it was, but I still love it. And as of right now, my hope is riding in GTA 6, and I believe that this game might change things. It's taking a millennia to come out, but every time I hear a trailer, I hear a lot of people in my families and friend groups, like even friends that haven't played games in a long time, they're busy. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna hop on GTA 6 for sure, bro. Like we're gonna get it." Like I feel like this game might bring back what was once enjoyable, and you know what? Like even family members that don't even play games, like my uncle is gonna hop on GTA 6, and I'm just like, "Oh shit, that's so cool." And that's what I'm talking about. Like it's the connective tissue that gaming used to have. It's the thing that wanted to bring people together, and that's what's important with gaming. It's just like fuck skill. Like I don't care if you're good. If you got a good personality, we talk every day. You're a cool dude. Yeah, we're gonna run the game. Like that's like if you're my bro, we're running the game. And the base price for GTA 6 is sitting at like what between $70 to $80. And that honestly surprised me. Like I know everybody's complaining about the price and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like gaming is just so unaffordable." And I completely agree, right? But for you have to think about the quality. Like the quality of GTA 6 is going to be absolutely insane. It's an open world game that mimics the city of Miami. Like it's going to be bigger than GTA 5. You have to understand that, like what I was talking about earlier, like the value of the game aligns with the price. I was honestly expecting GTA 6 to be like the base price was going to be like 120, like it was going to be between $100 and $120, and I thought that would be easy for something that big. But I'm actually excited to see what Rockstar has cooking up. And for everybody complaining about the price, remember that multiple Nintendo games, Mario Tennis, costs $70. Like let that sink in, bro. Like, are you paying $70 for Mario Tennis? Like, I really thought that. I don't know. Gaming is just so cooked now, and maybe this game can't bring back what once was, and it's just maybe we're all older, and that changes regardless of what's on the shelf. But I do know that the right game can bring that feeling back, and GTA 6 might be that game. And like that feeling I had when I used to play DS, I just hope that's not completely gone. When I first picked up my first console, it was something magical that I think maybe GTA 6 it could be that revolutionary game that brings back that element of fun again. So, yeah, if this hits different, let me know in the comments.